My mother changed the locks the night we buried my husband. She opened the door just a crack and told me my sister needed my room for a home office. My children were crying, soaked, confused. I was still in my funeral dress. Now, 3 years later, she cries from a budget-assisted living facility. I paid for 6 months, then they figure it out. Marcus died from cancer, leaving me alone with our 5-year-old twins. I turned to my parents for shelter, but they shut the door. My mother claimed my old room was now Emma's office. I clutched Marcus' final code project, a worn-out notebook. Pages full of dreams. That night, we ended up at the diner where he proposed. Donna, a waitress, paid for a motel. I promised Marcus I'd survive. I'd make them regret every cold word. Emma kept posting photos of her boss babe life, her new desk in my old room. Spa selfies, parties I watched from the motel window, heating noodles for my kids. Her smug captions felt like a knife. I took on freelance coding gigs at night, rocking my daughter to sleep with one hand, typing with the other. Every deadline met was a step away from them. I swore I'd never ask them for anything again. I launched Marcus' app prototype under the name SafeNest. It got early traction. Local shelters started reaching out. Then Emma filed a cease and desist, claiming she owned the code. I cried in the lawyer's lobby. Clutching that notebook, Grace Lanford, a legal aid attorney, believed me. But when we presented the code timestamps, the judge sided with Emma. Temporary injunction. I walked out humiliated. Donna texted me, truth wins slow, keep going. I kept coding. Emma bragged online that her tech genius brand was being scouted. Meanwhile, I coded all night, slept 2 hours a day, kept my kids fed and learning. Officer Ellis, the one who took Marcus' final report, remembered me. He flagged Emma's sudden income jump and told me quietly Ers loves paper trails. I documented everything, timestamps. Emails, receipts, exhausted but defiant. I told my twins, Mommy's working so no one can take from us again. At a tech showcase, I pitched SafeNest to potential partners. Emma showed up, wearing designer heels and waving a cease order. She called me unstable. I froze, then handed them the original notebook. Marcus' name scribbled across pages. One investor leaned in. You built this from scratch? I nodded. Emma stormed off. Officer Ellis later confirmed she was under audit. That night, Grace emailed appeal approved. She's slipping, I cried, not from fear. Relief burned brighter now. The twist came fast. Emma's business had been a shell. She forged contracts, stole clients' ideas, found over $50,000 in fake write-offs. My lawyer called laughing. Your sister's cooked. I stood outside my childhood home, now bank-owned. I placed a single SafeNest brochure in the mailbox. That night, Emma messaged me, help us. I didn't reply. I added a photo of that mailbox to my vision board. The door they shut gave me fire. 3 years later, my parents begged for help. Emma had moved back in after the foreclosure. I offered 6 months of assisted living, nothing more. My twins thrived in school. SafeNest grew. I visited Marcus' grave with our kids, each holding a project he inspired. I whispered, we're safe now. I walked away without looking back. They built walls, I built a life. At SafeNest's launch gala, Donna stood beside me in a blue dress I bought her. You did it, she whispered. Reporters asked about my family. I smiled, said I owed everything to the strangers who believed when blood didn't. Emma's name never crossed my lips again. Justice isn't loud, it's quiet, cold, permanent. Just like the silence when they shut that door. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe to check out more stories on my channel.